Been a while. Hope all of you are feeling good. Been a hot minute since you seen me live. What have I been doing? Trying to make some money. It's like when I'm doing it in the mirror. Anyway, guys, good evening. Been a while. I had a great evening. It was really nice. I went to the Carnegie Hall, Earn Your Leisure. Let's see if you guys can hear me. Can you hear well? Can you hear? Can y'all hear? Oh man, I haven't done live in God knows how long. Anyhow, I just went to Earn Your Leisure, Carnegie Hall. Rick Ross was there and he performed. That was crazy. What you call it? It was really nice with the guys from Earn Your Leisure, and it was just a lot of great. The first the only sitting black governor was there to give her a discussion also, and then another woman was there. And as a matter of fact, before I just let me give you their names because it is right here, so I don't need to guess. Power Network, this is us right here, yeah. That event time events. Why is it doing that? I guess because we just did this event and it's finished. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Now I can click on it. Yeah, right. So it's Megan Holston Alexander, and she was talking about her Cultural Leadership Fund. Kim Keenan, which is really awesome. She was cool. Cherise, this is the person, Cherise Clark Sorers. And actually, I think I've met her before, like in person. It's so crazy. When you see people on stage, you're like, yo, I know her. But she is pretty much the CEO of Harbor View Equity Partners. And what she specializes in is buying the catalogs of artists and holding and retaining catalogs, like digital publishing rights and holding catalog. What's up, Cammy? Princess Cammy, what's up? And it was a great discussion. Like everything was just so cool. Everything that was just so nice. Just to be, this event was about networking and being in the presence of other Black investors and people who are interested in growing their money, and just ordinary people coming out to be. It's a Black History Month event. Ordinary people just came out, and my hair was much more fire, but unfortunately I don't really put much heat on it, and I pin curl my hair. So once the curls fall, they fall. But I had a great evening. It was really, really nice. It was really, really fun. I got the number for the. It's so funny because the person that spoke to me is actually a person who works at Carnegie Hall, and I told him, I went to LaGuardia, went to the high school down the block, and you know, then he gave me the number of the music director in case I want to plug myself in, which is so cool. I had such a great time just being around other Black excellence. That's something that I miss here in New York because we have a lot of Black excellence, but this whole COVID thing changed everything. Nobody fraternizes anymore after work. Now that it's 2 or 3 days in the office, you don't know what 2 days a person's going to be in. You don't know, like, unless your director or your boss or somebody tells you, hey, we're going to all go out. There's no camaraderie after work anymore. So it's nice to get to something like this, a black tie event at Carnegie Hall, and obviously I wore the right thing. Let me step back for a minute so y'all can see. I definitely wore the right thing. I've worn this dress before, like once or twice. I wore it to Cipriani once during our promotion day ceremony. I was with Skins. I wore it to Cipriani, and then I also wore it to one of the another holiday party that we went to. So I've worn this is one of my holiday dresses, and the last time I wore it was like 2014. So I'm glad it still fits, and I'm glad that I haven't lost many jewels because they were very well. This is a very well done dress. And I haven't lost many jewels. It's kind of expensive. Skenzo bought it for me, and it definitely has that Carnegie Hall feeling. You know, like that elegant, like chamber music, opera house kind of feel. So anyway, I had a great time. So YouTube has been doing what YouTube does, and it's been very interesting. But I can't be a part of everyone's conversations and waste my fucking time all day. Um, I know I have been watching some people's lives and stuff, but I can only watch for like 5 minutes. And once it starts to get too ridiculous, I gotta like let them go with that. I gotta just let them go with it because it's like feel how you want about life. That's not gonna stop me in life. Like you can do what you want to do. None of that's gonna stop me. Perfect. Yeah. So I hope that all of you have been enjoying your lives and doing what you're supposed to do in life, so you can get to the next level. I really only ever come on for the Millionaire Morning Show. I listen and watch that, and then I watch kind of like just random financial stuff. I'm on my financial bag this year. You know, these last couple years I've been in Africa and just building a business with no real capital aside from your paycheck because there's no real loan system. And I like just a little, just things like that that just erode your money when you think you've got something and then you try to venture out to do something else and you can't because, you know, the one business that you built in Nigeria is barely profitable. And then on top of that, the business that you have in New York, you can't do anything with it because people are not trustworthy. So there's just a way that things have to be done now. In 2024, we just have to make the right choices. So one of the choices I made for myself was like, to hell with all this bullshit. Like I'm not going I'm not going to slave myself trying to grow a business when my career pays more than what the business makes. So I decided to just go back into my corporate and forget all that stuff. There's no point. Um, because all of that like business and chasing people around and like even when it comes down to real estate industry has been upended in New York. There's nothing to be made. So like I'm not doing anything business related this year unless it's working at the job and investing. Right now I currently have a portfolio of about 10 investments, 10 holdings, and therefore I own 10 companies. Fuck it. I'm not looking to waste my energy on futile efforts around like being an entrepreneur and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I've been an entrepreneur for a while now. So I unhid all of the videos because I'm trying to sell some contents for the artist I was managing. But if I'm being honest, between managing an artist, doing an Airbnb in Brooklyn, doing an Airbnb in Nigeria, and creating a record label and studio, I think I'm about tired with business. And as far as I'm concerned, none of that shit's gonna make money until someone else gives it the validity because ultimately that's not what they're looking for from me. When I look at the categories of the uh, 100, what do they call that? 1 million Black women. When I look at the categories for 1 million Black women, the types of things that they're giving us, the kind of money that they're giving us as incentives, and the kinds of businesses they expect us to open, I'll let you know that there's nothing creative that can be gained in that process. So if you want to start something that's healthcare related, if you want to start something that's real estate development related, and like if you want to like help incarcerated peoples get jobs and do all kinds of philanthropic efforts, that's great. But when it comes down to doing something creative, there's no money that can be given to you from the um the Goldman Sachs 10 million Black women program. So unless you're looking to help be a part of cleaning up this country, there's really no money that you can gain. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because one of the main conversations that was being had on that stage today with Kim Keenan, was it Kim or was it Megan? With Megan Holston Alexander, yeah, with Megan, is she kept mentioning how venture capital, venture capital, venture capital, venture capital. Okay, venture capital, except when you go into other communities, venture capital truly is a venture. People come in there looking to do something and they get awarded capital for the ideas of the things they want to put out. When you try to talk about venture capital, when it comes to like the initiatives that they're spinning up for Black women in this country, everything is like on some servant shit. Everything is on some like help an old person, help a disabled person, help a Black man that was incarcerated, help, 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 help. Nothing is creative, nothing is fun, nothing is energizing. It's just a bunch of like, help us clean up this city with this initiative and we'll give you some money. Help us do this, help us do that. I personally not interested. So I think the smartest thing for me to do in 2024 is like, fuck business. My business is investing. I'm not going to be doing no business where I have to help grow anything or put, because the three businesses that I did do, I did them all out of my own pocket. So I literally have debts in addition to losses from businesses that can't be successful because ultimately they depend on the skill sets of people, or not even necessarily the skill sets of people, but they depend on people, and they also depend on factors that are beyond my control. So all that, like, yeah, I still have my business. I still do my own thing musically for me, but it's all of this like putting together shit, managing other artists, and like trying to create avenues for other people. I really can't focus on that right now. I'm trying to recuperate from all of the losses that I've taken over the last God knows how many years, maybe 4, 5, 6 years, just trying to do my own thing. And I actually don't think it's my fault. I actually think things were going pretty well until COVID happened. But what happens is you gain traction and then shit like COVID comes around and it undoes all of the work that you've done on your business. COVID will undo it because now people can't go anywhere. Now the few people that are creative, they don't want to live in New York anymore. So like all the creatives that were booking studio time at my studio, I had about 4 clients and none of them really live here. So now it's like there's really not many people that I would trust to bring them into the studio. And then in addition to that, it's so what I learned today from the Earn Your Leisure was that, and what I've been realizing over the last couple months, because I've been investing since 2008, and I've lost and I'm gaining, I've lost and I gain. I did well with crypto in 2021, 2022. So I'm not new to investing. What I realized is like all this time that we're spending trying to create this and that business, it's like a waste of time when we can just be investing, especially when the market is hot. So all I'm doing this year is investing and just working out, investing, working out, investing, working out, investing. And that means the only goals I'm looking for is like continue to keep my nice body in addition to making and retaining the gains that I make from investing. That's all I care about this year. I don't care about doing anything else. I spent a lifetime in Africa. There's not much profits that are coming from my business, which is trash. And if I'm being honest, I'm I'm wanting to find other places in Nigeria to be because I mean not Nigeria. I'm wanting to find other places in Africa to be because Nigeria is in a bad way. It's actually economically it's in a really bad situation. Like for example, when I first got there, right? When I first got to Nigeria, it was about I think the rate was like 780 to 1 or like 760 to 1. It was 760 to $1. And now the rate is I saw it the other day or yesterday when I was checking that app. It was like 1,460. Some crazy. So what I'm telling you is that like the currency has gone down. Now imagine I had bought a condo over there. It would be upside down. And so I don't it's not that they're not using digital currency. Digital currency is not the issue. The issue is that you see the thing with digital currency sounds great, but it's not good because what it does is it actually keeps you from realizing the gains from a real investment. Like if you invest in crypto, that's better than having that digital US dollars that they're trying to roll out because the digital US dollar is going to be no different from the paper US dollar, meaning that there's going to be no gains on it and nothing that you do is going to count for anything because ultimately it has the same value. It's just now they're saving money because they don't have to print any currency, but it's literally the same value. And then you'll have people that are having access to shut off your money stream. Think about money is like water, right? Money is a flow and energy and a constant movement, and it should always be flowing on a day to day basis. And the fact that they would have us use digital US dollars and think that we're going to actually go for that shit, you take digital dollars into this economy and we'll never be able to invest. Like the stock market will be done. So I just find it to be like for us to be wasting our times going in circles trying to figure out how to create this and that business and all this bullshit. Do you see what's going on in the market? I have so many gains just from the past 4 months. If you see what's going on in the market, my gains are OD just for like 4 months. So why would I go and now try to create? I'm done managing artists and like creating things for artists. The only thing I'm working on is my own um, artwork and products. Everyone knows that I'm a singer songwriter and I write music. Everyone knows that um, I've worked in finance for 15. It's about 16 years now. 2007. Everyone knows that I have a lot of talents. But if I'm being honest with you, I want to get rich. I've been talented my whole life since I was like 1 years old. I've been talented. I'm not gonna lie. My mother taught me everything she had with her. She was very creative. But if I'm being honest with you guys, like, are we going to waste our time spinning our wheels trying to figure out how this business can be lucrative and how we can do this job to do this to do this? You know what? I'm dumping all my money in the market and I'm just going to let it do what it do like usual because all this like jumping through hoops to invest, all of this jumping through hoops to create wealth and thinking you're going to create this restaurant and this coffee shop and that coffee shop and the next thing you know you have an employee stealing from you and then you have Airbnb but people don't know how to handle it because that's the problem I have in Nigeria with Airbnb. The people that come to Nigeria, they act like they don't travel when they know damn well that they travel all year. Then when they come to their own country, they have complaints about quality of Airbnb, a beautiful Airbnb that I worked my ass off that I invested in. And it's like if you want certain things, then you should spend the money at the hotel so you can get the price that you want. But at the same time, my Airbnb is nice. People are just looking to get over and scheme and scam. That's a typical Nigerian thing. People come in and they want to scam. They want to stay in your place for a week and then they want to complain about one thing and get all their money back. It's not worth it. Like every business that I do from now on, it has to be like based on money. I'm not going to do anything that's based on passions. All I'm going to do is just continue to create, which is my own passion. I will continue to make my own things and create my own shit. But like all this jumping through hoops to be an entrepreneur, I'm tired. I've been incorporated since 2005 and I didn't do anything with it until 2016. I really just went to school and had a life, etc. The minute I started to try to do something with it, I realized what was wrong with America. What's wrong with America is that the minute that you try to go into business for yourself, by the time you even flirt with the idea of a bank loan, you have expended all of the capital that you needed to start your business. And then by the time you get to the bank, they're saying, well, what are you going to invest? Well, I've already invested $40,000 into this fucking studio. So it would be nice if I could get 120 loan or something so I can put out a couple of projects and put out some music and actually retrieve some money back. But if we're being honest, this system here that we're a part of was not designed for us. In fact, it was designed on our backs. And I can say that confidently because as a person who has worked their whole lives in a financial capacity, I'm gonna let you know that we were the first traded asset in this country. We were the first asset in this country. And so when you understand that kind of history, then you recognize that like all of these corporate structures and all of these things that are built up for us to be able to attain some American dream, the American dream is really just a facade. And it's not to say that you can't have a house, you can't have a car and kids, etc. But if you do it in the order that they're telling you and in the directions that they're telling you, you won't have a dollar in your pocket. There is nothing that you can gain by just stashing your money in the bank and getting a mortgage and having all of these children. What you do is you end up putting yourself in a stagnant place. If I had a mortgage, let's say my fiance they passed away, let's say if I had his kids and then COVID came, do you know I wouldn't have been able to do anything. I wouldn't have had any money. I would have been stuck and stagnant because these children are on my hip. I would not have been able to go to Africa and experience culture and my culture and connect with my people. None of that stuff would have been possible if everything was based off of like this linear American dream. Can I tell you what the real American dream is? The real American dream, in my opinion, is go get fucking money. That's the real American dream. It doesn't matter whether you strip for the money, whether you clean toilets for the money, whether you do finance for the money, you just need to get the money. And then when you get the money, don't think that you're going to go and put it in a fucking failing bank who's utilizing your money. Take your money, put it in that brokerage account, invest. Put it into a business that makes money. The coffee shop is better than the Airbnb. That's another thing I was telling my friend the other day. I was like, girl, remember when we used to make fun of all these niggas and they coffee shops that was just popping up all over Brooklyn? We were like, everybody wants to have a coffee shop. It was a little joke between me and my sis. And to be honest with you, the coffee shop is more lucrative than even a clothing store. People love coffee. People love drinks. People love refreshments. So the simplest business is the most lucrative. Nothing of passion is going to give you any real money unless someone else commissions you to do it. And then I think about all of the art history textbooks that I like art through the ages, which I have. It's on the top of my shelf. I can't grab it right now. But like all of these art history textbooks, and one of the common themes with a lot of the classical artists and those from the Renaissance period, etc., a lot of them were never paid for their works. A lot of them died poor and now look at their works trading at multi-million dollar prices. The reason why I say that is because those works are valuable to us. But for that person, that was their heart and soul that they poured into it. They were commissioned to do something. They did that thing. Maybe they weren't compensated the way that they were promised. We herald them, but they had a very difficult life. A lot of those artists had very difficult lives, even though we herald them and we celebrate them. There's really so much of a story behind a creative. Me, I was never supposed to be in anyone's finance company. The first thing I learned to do was to draw fashion designs. My mom used to make them, and then she used to buy tracing paper, a pad of tracing paper, and then I used to put her drawing underneath the tracing paper and draw that shit. And if I'm being honest, that is at the base level, I'm an artist. And it hurts to know that like all of our dreams and all of the things that we work so hard to distinguish ourselves as individuals is being taken away from us for an overinflated economy. So in my opinion, I don't want a house. I don't want another car. I'll just have my driver, Uber, whatever. What I want is to save and grow every dollar that I make in this country. I'm not interested in buying anything in this country. I'm happy to rent as long as the landlord is good to me and the price is decent. I'm happy to rent. I don't want a property. I don't want to tie up any money in this economy in this country. Because when it's time for us to get the fuck out of here, I'm going to be liquid and I'm up and over to Dubai. That's it. I'm not going to fight with America. What I learned by being in that room tonight was that I have the same story as every other Black American person, or every other Black African American, or every other Caribbean, or every other person who tried their best in this country and just kept hearing no and no and no. I mean, I had 40 racks in a fucking bank and they couldn't even give me a bank loan with the collateral that I had. So what I'm telling you guys is like, this was a great evening. I enjoyed being around my black people, and I enjoyed everything that they provided us with, all the knowledge. But there's so much more. There's more work to be done. Um, Somebody owes us, so until they pay, I don't think we should be infusing their systems with capital. That's another thing I think about. With all the money that's owed to us as Black African people that have been exploited in this country, why would I now go and take the hardest earned money that I starved for, especially when affirmative action is about to pretty much be upended? It's pretty much gone already. Affirmative action, to be honest with you. Why would you take all of your liquid assets and just dump it when there's no guarantee that you'll be able to get a job next year? Why would you dump all of your money into the house of your dreams when there's no guarantee that you're even going to be able to pay for it next year? Because affirmative action says that when Google decides to lay you off, because you might be a project manager there making good money, but the layoffs are coming. And when they decide to lay you off, what's going to happen after that? What are you going to do? You gonna look at the walls of your house and be like, feed me? Hell no, I'm staying liquid in this country. I'm not tying up shit in this country. I'm staying liquid in this country. I'm not spending money here. All I'm doing is making money. And then, if and when it's time to go, I'll be ready. Because all of this, like, jumping through hoops that they got us doing in this country, we should be ashamed of ourselves. I sat in that room thinking today, like, I love Carnegie Hall. I've done been in here about 20 times. And if I'm honest, like, the event was great, but when you just think about the legacy of certain buildings and you think like, yo, for so many years we couldn't even come in this building, and if we did, we had to come in through the service entrance, and that doesn't bother me. What bothers me now is that the minute we start doing all this stuff as Black people, convening in Carnegie Hall and stuff, is the same time in the history of this country that they're going to start eliminating affirmative action and other incentive programs that have helped us grow in this country. It's almost like putting us between a rock and a hard place. If our Black people don't start creating more institutions for us to have jobs and stuff, coming out of college, we won't have them. Vista won't be able to employ everybody. Sorry. Vibranium won't be able to employ everybody. So, what I'm saying is, Black African people making real good money in this country, my advice, and you know, I'm not Troy, I'm not Shadi, and I'm not Ian, but I am a Pan Africanist. That's a fact. And my advice is that as you accumulate your wealth in this country, don't forget that we were never supposed to be here, and that someone brought us here so that we could be the asset by which they use to accumulate their own wealth. So once you accumulate your wealth, you gotta run off with that bag. No buying no fucking house. No buying no cars and shit. Pay for these drivers. They make it easy. Pay for these drivers, pay your rent, save your money. That way, when it's time for us to leave, because there will come a time. I know you guys think I'm crazy, but there's gonna come a time where they ask us niggas to leave this country because look how we act in it. Look how we act in this country. You think they want us here? They don't. And now that affirmative action is done, it's gonna be too easy for them to be like, look, Blacks never had citizenship. It was never ratified in the Constitution. 13, 14, 15 amendments undid that. You know, all the shit they say. Next thing you know, you won't have a job. Next thing you know, there'll be no welfare. Next thing you know, there'll be no food stamps, no Section 8. Next thing you know, you'll have nothing. Talking about I own a house, and guess what? The same house that you own with the value, remember white flight that happened in the 80s? Go and sell your house when that happens after everything has been abolished in this country. Try to sell your Black African nigga's house. Nobody will buy it. You'll see what this country is about. So what I took away tonight from the event was every dollar must be saved. And I'm going to look to open up another bank account in Africa, not in Nigeria, not in Sierra Leone, but in Kenya, maybe. Somewhere in East Africa. And I'm going to keep my money in a place where things are appreciating because it's not fair. It's not fair that these corporations are buying up the single family homes so they could rent them to you. Now you won't even be able to afford a one family home because they're going to buy it, inflate the price. And if they want to keep it low, they're just going to charge you a high ass rent and you'll pay 3 and 4 times for the building. This is what's happening in America. There was a time where you could go and buy your lumber and build your own little house. Black Rock, exactly. There was a time that you could come and buy your lumber and build your own little house. This taxation system has crippled us. This inflation has eroded all of our wealth. And I'm not going to help to rebuild this country. That's the decision that I made a couple years ago. After they tore this shit up with COVID and all this other and these horrible policies, I'm not helping to rebuild a fucking thing. Every US dollar gotta be converted into somebody else's currency. The only way I stay in this country is if I see some economic incentives come through for Black African people because it's not just about my people, it's about me. I'm a Black African person. I need those things. I won't put money into someone's mortgage every month and paying the bank every month for a house that I probably can't afford and ultimately may lose. Instead, I'll stay in this apartment building. I live in this beautiful place. This is a Black landlord, and I'll continue to help him pay his mortgage by paying him rent. That's better for me than for me to go and take every. For example, don't have much saved right now, but by the end of 2024, I'll have enough saved, right? Why would I take every last dollar and dump it into a house when I'm one person by myself? Fred is on his way from Nigeria. He's cool in the apartment. He's already made it clear that he's cool in the apartment until we can afford something else. Let Fred come, save his money. If he want to buy something in America, that'll be up to him. Otherwise, I told him, we'll keep working on the house and we'll even take ourselves over to Kenya and figure out what's up. As Black African people, we have a lot of options. We don't have to feel like um nothing can. I need one more bobby pin. What the fuck? We don't have to feel like nothing can happen for us just because nothing has happened before. We don't have to feel like nothing can happen for us just because nothing's happened before. But what we do need to realize is like we can be successful in many places and we don't have to be successful here. We don't have to be stuck right here doing everything in New York, everything in LA, everything in Houston, Chicago. We don't have to be stuck in America doing everything the way they want us to. We can take this money and move it around the same way the Chinese did. We can take this money and move it around the same way the Russians did. My investments are going to go through the roof and they are continuing to go up this year. I won't be taking out nothing. Not touching shit. I had this dress since 2014 and I have a lot of nice clothes. I'm not buying shit. I have nothing to buy. I have a lot of really fly clothes in wardrobe. Nothing needed. As Black people, we got to stop needing so much. In fact, I think what we really need is just to sit down and strategize. Being in that room today made me realize like I need more of these rooms because I need more financially aware Black warriors, Black financial warriors to convene with. I need to have more of those people in my life because you go to work, you see Black people in the hallway, and if they're not on your team, there used to be a time that we would have like these extracurricular clubs and things like that, um, Black accountants. NESB is an actual organization. I'm not an engineer, so I'm not a part of that. But we used to have like the Black accountants get together and things like that, and all these different like get-togethers and stuff. At not my first job, but like one of my biggest positions, and not a lot of that shit doesn't happen nowadays in New York. At least I can only speak for New York because that's where I'm at. But a lot of that stuff doesn't really happen nowadays. So I kind of feel like what we need to do is we need to just grow our own money individually and start broadening our horizons. So if I need to get on a plane and be in the room with some Black entrepreneurs and business people, that's what I need to do. I got lucky because this event with Robert F. Smith and Earn Your Leisure and Cherise and Kim and all these great people, Cedric and Ron and Derek and all these great people that are up on the stage. Governor Westmore, he was dope. A Yada man too. It's so crazy to me when like this whole New York is built off of Jamaicans. I hate to say it, but especially in the finance industry, we do run ting. So, but at the same time, it's like we don't really have much to do anymore, but work with one another to gain. We all have knowledge now. We know what needs to be done. It's time for us to work together as a collective, pool our assets, and just like how this girl is doing, this woman is doing with her company, just like how Mr. Robert F. Smith is doing with Vista. It's time for us to pool our assets and create something collectively and leave other people in the dust. I'm not having any more conversations about, and if you guys haven't noticed, I haven't been on any panels. I don't, because I don't struggle when it comes down to men. I swear I don't. I really do not. I came into that thing today. I was on my dolly. There must be about 10 guys' numbers. They got my number. I put them in WhatsApp, whatever. And what I'm saying to you is like, I'm just a personable person. It's not a romantic thing. I'm a personable person. It's not hard to go out there and actually be somebody if you actually are somebody. So all of this, like women talking about men, and I peeped into Lapeef the other night, and I thought to myself, these niggas still talking about this? Hey, Black Beauty. I'm like, these niggas still talk about this? Like, what are we doing? We literally the time that you guys all sat on this live stream to discuss this nonsense. It's 4 hours that you could have been with us at Carnegie Hall, listening to Rick Rose, Aston Martin music, listening to Robert F. Smith, listening during your leisure. You understand? Listening to Governor Westmore. You could have been spending that time interacting with Black excellence. Instead, you sat on a panel. Can I want to know, you know why I don't do the relationship shit? And even when I was on the panels, I never really was big on the relationship shit. Because if I'm in a relationship, what is there to complain about? And I'm always in one. That's a fact. I'm always in one. Even during Fight Club days, I think you guys met me. I was single for about 2 weeks. Next thing you know, Fred was there. I'm always in one. Life is so easy when it comes to love. Love is too easy. What's hard is getting rich in this fucking country. That's what's hard. Not loving someone, finding a person to hang out with, finding a person to love, finding a person to hold you at night and stick it in and hit the bottom. That's easy. The hard part is, like, for example, I was not supposed to go to this event tonight alone because I must have asked about 4 or 5 of my friends to go. And I mean, these are my down ass friends. Shit, if I would have told them that it was a Drake concert, they would have came. Because one of my homeboys, who was like my wingman and one of my best friends, who always asks me to go places and I always hang out with him and we always go, and like this is my G. He didn't have a suit and I understood because he has suits, but he lost a lot of weight. I guess the Ozempic, maybe, and he just didn't have the clothes. Fine. Other homegirl, she's in Philly. We watch Market Mondays together. She could not make it this way. Other 2 girls, they're getting ready for Valentine's Day tomorrow, etc., etc. They cannot make it this way. I find that Black people in our communities, oftentimes they talk a good game. And as you know, a Black beauty does not talk a good game. I do everything I say I'm going to do. I get up and I go to Africa. And I sit there and I live there and I get my NIN and I get 3, 4 bank accounts and I open an Airbnb and comes back with a husband because I'm serious. I'm a serious person in life. Some people are just not serious. And a lot of us are like that. A lot of us people, black people, we are like that. We will talk about how we want to do something. I had what Africa is an example as well. So many friends growing up, West Indian, Caribbean friends talking about, yeah, we gotta go to Africa. When Africa come, nobody wants to go. And why? Because they don't want to spend that money for the experience they keep talking about they want to have. And it makes me think like, damn, we don't even really have enough money to go anywhere besides the Caribbean. Most black people don't have the Caribbean's right there. It's $300 to get down there. We don't really have much money to go and do anything else. So all of this like get together for brunch. I know I remember back in 2018, I think I offended some girlfriends of mine when I told them that I can't come with you guys to brunch every week because I work out. So like, I'm sorry, I don't want to get fat and I can't sit down with y'all every Sunday and spend $150 just kikiing with y'all. Because I had come to the brunch. Yeah, I came, but I came late and I walked in there late. And the first comment I got was, damn, sexy body gal. Why do you think I had that comment? Because I avoid the brunch. All this sitting down, eating, drinking, and stuffing our faces, I pulled back from that years ago. I don't have any more time to stare at any more women's faces. I don't care. I was never like that. I'm an only child. So I do love my girlfriends, but never more than I love myself. So as much as I wanted so badly to just like cling to my girlfriends and be like, I'm gonna follow you and be a lackey, it could never happen. I'm not that person. I'm not impressionable in that way. I don't follow bitches behind them. I don't do that. So all of this like going to every Saturday and Sunday going to brunch with y'all bitches, it doesn't make sense. And then when I look at them now, I recently saw a picture of a couple of these girls, and none of them are friends, by the way. Out of all of those girls, there was like five of us at the table. None of those girlfriends are friends. I'm friends with one girl there that I'm cool with, and she was the coolest, and she has the most dope life out of everybody. She's the one that everybody hates on, but she has the best life. Typical, right? When I go out and I see these other women come around, they may be competing, but they help each other. We as black women, we don't really, yeah, we will support each other's business because we like spending money. That's one thing. But all of this like conversation about men, about things we don't like, about things we don't like about our body. Yo, I know you won't believe it, but when I get on the phone with my girlfriends, I don't talk to them about the things I don't like about myself because why the fuck should I tell you what I don't like about me? I'm done with these frivolous conversations. I want to know what stock is up. I have a friend, I love her. And honestly, the last 2 years when I've been in New York, she's been the person I hang out with. She's wonderful. She asked me to teach her how to invest. She asked me to pass information. I created a group for her, me, and my other sis. Me and my other sister are in that motherfucker every day, posting research, comparing notes, and we do a thing where we buy some stocks on Fridays if we can buy that week. But most of the time, we've bought pretty much every Friday for the last like 5 or 6 weeks. Maybe we didn't hit every Friday, but we've gotten most Friday. This woman who literally asked me to create this group and to pass this knowledge to her, has not made one investment yet, has not put nothing in her Fidelity account. So I said to my sis, I said, sister, it's just me and you, like how it's always been. It's just us two. And when I say and she's a Haitian too, and I'm a Jamaican, and you know how that works. Two strong ass black women investing in stocks. I don't have time for the Trinidadian girl that's not serious. And it's always a non-serious Trini, right? It's always a non-serious Trini because it's like they live their life thinking that they're gonna eat uh what do they call that? Doubles every day. They think they're gonna eat doubles every day under the sunlight and be dancing to soca. And yes, this is Carnival Tuesday. Actually, it's Ash Wednesday now. Lent begins today. They think they're gonna be dancing all the time and having fun all the time, and they don't have a serious bone in them body. Every time this woman done call my phone, it's about some man and running behind some man. Now she helping some man in his restaurant. You know what? The time and energy you spent helping that man in his restaurant, like the one that don't want to be with you because he did playing with all these other women and avoiding you, and you've got 3 children, and your body is not intact. Sorry, the waste of time that is being spent with people, it can be a distraction. People can be the biggest distraction. I try to explain this to this person, and at the end of the day, it's not my problem. I'm going to give you information. Now I'm going to stop giving you information. You got to figure it out for yourself. I can't run behind people and feed them because even I'm trying to learn. I don't know everything. I'm learning. So you got to learn with us. And when the class is done, we don't have notes to pass you. Sweetheart, you should have came to class. So today was the exam. Tonight was the exam. Now she, when I told her about the event, now she want to talk about, oh, I want to come. Of course, it's black tie. There'll be sexy guys there. And she's thinking that somebody might probably want to pick her up. And then when I told her the price of it to come into Carnegie Hall is not cheap. Which this actual price for Carnegie Hall was cheaper than what it is to go and see like chamber music and stuff like that. But that's because um the nature of what it is. But it was still a decent price because I paid to be like right in the third, fourth row. I was actually in the fifth row. Somebody brought me to the second row. One of the music directors that recognized me. But I'll be honest with you, it disappointed me that she didn't care about the thing that she had asked me to care about. She wanted me to care more for her than she did for herself. And my thing is like, care about yourself, sweetheart. We we came out tonight, the people that were serious, we got the information and we want to pass it on, but if every time I give information, you're talking to me about helping somebody make their hamburger tonight, I'm sorry, sweetie. And so this year is about putting the right people in my circle, in my orbit, because I do have a lot of people that could be there, but now I need to benefit. I can't be the best in the room. I need to learn now. Just like how everybody's been learning from me in my circle, I need to learn now. So it is what it is. But I hope you guys are doing well. And these pin curls have been saving life because I have not wanting to put heat on my hair. I've just been doing a little bit of a blowout with my Dyson. And then the pin curls have been keeping it really cute and sweet and have been keeping me looking very nice and very right. And I love this outfit. I hope you guys like it. And I had this bag with me, and I had thigh-high black velvet boots on. I'll put some pictures on later. It is cute, isn't it? This is my mommy's jacket. Oh, rest in peace, Brenda. That's my mommy. And I'll tell you what, another reason why I went to the EYL thing tonight was because it's my mom's birthday. May she rest. And we used to spend every Valentine's Day together. And my mom she went through a lot in life, but she was a good woman. And so instead of me getting drunk in her honor, which is what I have done the last couple of years, because she liked to hang out. My mom was a party girl. She liked to hang out and have fun. Instead of getting drunk in her name, I decided to go and get money in her name instead. And I think she would be very proud of me today. I'm out. Peace.